Played off to the far side to begin this one, and McMahon quickly gets a turnover. Not a good start for the Falcons. They try to play it into the box, but it's going to be taken away by Fleming, the senior defender. Now here's Paige O'Connell on the outside. Deflects it off a Senators leg. That is Sophia Tarasidis, the captain, senior defenseman, and McMahon will get it off the throw. Sending it along the outside. Now we work it up. Trickling out. Hoey giving chase. Hanrahan down there as well. Now here's a pass into the box. Trickles through and it's saved. Good poke out by the Falcons defense early. Have had their work cut out for them early in this ball game and do not want to have too many of those. Very dangerous pass going in on the early going. O'Connell gave chase on that pass to the sideline, but couldn't quite get it, so McMahon will get their first throw of the evening. Working it on, and a nice save made in goal by Kayla Kochia, the goalkeeper, the junior for this McMahon team. And as I said, both these teams certainly have a lot to work out. They've got a couple of freshmen up on the varsity roster, and you're not going to want to waste those talents. They've got a whole bunch of sophomores, but they've got a good mix of young bloods, but also a very good upper class. McMahon actually is a junior captain. This ball played down the middle. Still with it is Hoey, and she's going to get the first offensive possession for the Falcons, taken by Fleming. This a pass into the box, but it gets poked out. That's Kelsey Brown, the senior, who will poke it out with her chest, and just a few minutes in, 37:50 on the clock. Just about ready to go once again here at Brien McMahon High School. Played forward to the 40. Playing it back to the 30 now, just that blue and white stripe line. McMahon, a gorgeous campus, as we always love to come down here and do the games here, as they'll have the field hockey, the FCAC field hockey semifinals and finals here this fall. At one point before Darien had lights, they had Darien home football playoff games. Chasing it down. Now here's an opportunity for McMahon. Tried to shoot, but a good save on that looks like Paulman. Bridget Paulman coming in, getting her name into the scoring. Good block early on. So we hit the 37-minute mark in this first quarter. Or in this first half, I should say. 2 40-minute halves on this one. We'll get the Lady Falcons twice this season, or three times this season. We'll see them once again on Saturday afternoon. They will take on the Greenwich Cardinals. That'll be a home game at Taft Field, so we'll be in Trumbull on Friday for some Friday night football. And then we'll be at Ludlowe for a home game on Saturday. This ball played in, poked in the air, still alive. The Falcons need a clear, and they will get it. But just like that, McMahon pokes it back in. Clearly relentless offensively, but they will give it right back up to the Falcons. Here's O'Connell. She loves that side, that near side, but can't get anything to it. So we'll see what the Senators can cook up. Moving quite along at 35-56. Just about hitting the 35-minute mark. Getting the clock going for you, as it is a running clock. And here's a throw on the near side, and it's poked right back out. So a lot of back and forth kind of affair, and if you're the Falcons, that's not how you should be treating this. A team that made the FCAC playoffs, or was actually a game shy of it last year, and now have the opportunity to go back and fend for an FCAC title with a really good group of seniors that's coming in they do have a team of freshmen that was undefeated last year. They're sophomores at this point, including a couple of sophomores up on varsity. Gabby Barucci, Julia Pita, Laura Heron, whose sister Maddie is also on the team, Susanna Weber. There's also a lot of good JV players, so get ready in the next couple of years to see a very good team coming from the Falcons. This is a sophomore group that has played together for years at this point, before high school even, and was undefeated as freshmen, so they are ready to really win this game, and they're coming into this season and the next bunch really as possible favorites in the FCAC. Already 1-0, looking to improve on that mark. The Senators looking to try and continue their string of success. Poked around. Kept in by Maya Brown. Now that's poked out, and Ludlow's got a good opportunity to score now in the Senators' half of the field. Brown will throw it in. Colliding is a couple of girls over near the football end zone. Here's a put in by one of the Falcon players. That ball's going to get deflected off, and a good save by Kochia going out there to save. And if you're Coach Singaliotis for the Senators, having Kochia in goal is a really big plus, especially as a junior. You've had her for a couple of years, and now as a junior, she's starting on varsity, and you do have an opportunity to see what she's worth, and a goalie that you're going to have for the long term. That always seems to be a problem in all of high school athletics. The downfall to a lot of these teams seems to be when they graduate a lot of seniors, and it's always, as much as it is, we look at the seniors on Ludlow's team and on McMahon's team, you have to look at the young bloods too. If they don't have a really good tight group of juniors and sophomores and even freshmen, they're not going to do well once those seniors graduate. They could be undefeated with that group, but they could go winless if they don't have a good group. Scooped up in goal by Maddie Heron. She is the starting goalie and captain for this team. The main ambassadors for Ludlow girls soccer as it's played across midfield, skips around, and booted back in. 12 seniors on this Ludlow team. It's going to be very hard to recover, but again, given the group of sophomores and freshmen that they have coming in, and juniors as well, not undoable. Totally possible that they continue their success in the next few years. This ball played up. Suddenly it's all Heron in the net, and she'll make a diving stop. Great stop by Maddie Heron at the 31:50 mark of this first half, and now she'll boot it away with some pride out in net. All the way to Paige O'Connell, the basketball star as well for the Falcons. A lot of these girls are dual sport athletes, even tri-sport athletes. Anna Paulman, who is on the JV team for the Falcons, a sophomore, played varsity as a freshman last year for girls basketball and girls lacrosse. So she is a tri-sport athlete, and no doubt you'll be hearing more of her as we move along this season and in the future as well. Her sister Bridget also plays basketball and will be a senior in the upcoming season. So the Paulman sisters duos on the soccer pitch and on the basketball court. They are not on the lacrosse field. Booted out for a set piece. This is going to be big for McMahon. About 30 minutes, almost a half an hour to go in this opening half, and they need to try and get something going after a relentless offensive press in the beginning in the first 10 or so minutes. They've seemed to kind of give the ball up, and the Falcons have taken over offensively as here comes the set piece. An opportunity still loose. Heron knocked over a girl going for the save. Good job by Maddie Heron as we go to the 30-minute mark nearly. 30:15 to go in this opening half. Falcons and Senators. Same score that they ended with last season when these two teams played. 0-0 the goal, and of course, Maddie Heron out in goal has had to really wait her turn. She does play goalie on the lacrosse field, but Natalie Kelchner one of the best, is off to Maris, playing at Maris currently. Last season, two very different looking teams that we saw. Two teams that had a good group of seniors, and Natalie Kelchner, of course, one of the best goalkeepers in the FCAC last season, and now they got Heron. It's a very different group than you'll see on this pitch tonight. Those of you that watched that game last year, avid Ludlowe soccer fans. This ball played on the far side, kicked around a little bit. Good passing coming from the Senators, not much interception. Hoey giving pressure. And it's on the near side. A whistle, but nothing stops. Good pass to the middle, but it goes right past her intended target. That was Peyton McNamara, who will get it and dish it in, and that's a goal. 1-0 Brien McMahon. 29:01 to play in this opening half. And it's 1-0 Brien McMahon. That is an intense start for the Senators. Not what you would expect from the heavy underdog in this matchup. Moving along. Now here's another opportunity, and that ball goes in. Only about 10 seconds after they score the first one, McMahon scores a second, and it's 2-0 Senators in the early going. So we'll wait here for a second while the referees get everything straightened out. And we're back underway. The Falcons now in a 2-goal deficit, really needing to poke up that offense. Could be a high-scoring one. The turf is a little wet. Walking across it to set up the equipment today, it certainly, as we did see some heavy rain earlier, as that ball's going to trickle out for a goal kick. Not the best conditions. Not really dry. I mean, and of course that McMahon turf, one of the shortest in the FCAC. It's very easy to let that ball slip by you, and Heron, although used to playing on the Ludlowe turf, just seemed a little delayed on those last two saves and got to be kicking herself now. Down by 2, and her team's going to have to really play catch-up to get themselves back in this ball game. Not undoable by any standards. They could do it right now. Here comes the throw. Down to about 27.5 minutes to play. Squirts around and chased up on the side. Booted back in. A little too much on it, though, and Heron comes up to stop it. Here comes a goal kick. Booming nearly to the 45. McKenna Forrest, another senior on this Falcon team. And Peter Nikoch, the head coach for the Falcons, at this point, really disappointed that those two went in. One is manageable, and they've certainly played from deficits before, but you do not want to go down by 2 goals this early in the game. Still lots of time to come back from it, but not something you want to routinely make a habit of. And he said, if they were in our pregame interview, if there was one thing he was worried about, it would have to be the defense. They're so focused on scoring the goals, sometimes they forget to stop them. Here comes the penalty kick. Squirts around, and that was very close, and by no means was a bad penalty kick. That could have been right there. The free nearly went in, but a good stop by Kayla Kochia, the junior goalie for the Senators. Poked up around, now near the 35. Over the back kick, and now we're going to see a corner throw as the clock continues to move. About 26 minutes to go in this one. Opening half, 2-0 McMahon. Scored their points in just about 30 seconds apart from each other. Now the Falcons really trying to slow down and set something up on offense. Put it in the box, now kicked out. Paulman fighting for it at midfield. O'Connell's going to get underneath it. She's got room to go. Splits two defenders, still on her feet. Looks for a pass, and it's kicked out. She was very close to putting that ball into the crease, and the Falcons, if anybody really know, all you got to do is put the ball in play and in the box, and you got a really good chance at scoring. We'll see what she can do now. And another whistle called. Going the other way. 25 minutes, almost on the dot. So we're winding down almost halfway through this opening half as the Falcons really struggling defensively to get those stops. A McMahon team that is faster, and here's some substitutions with 24:42 to go. Here we go. It's going to be kicked back in. Down to about 24-15. Thrown again. Opportunity still in the box. The McMahon coaching staff got to be pleased with this open. Paulman's got to boot it back to Heron, who boots it away, and a line drive goal kick coming out. Still in play. Opportunistic are the Falcons offensively. Now they just need to take that and play it into defense. Down to about 23 minutes, so inching closer to that halfway point. We played almost 20 minutes of soccer, and clearly McMahon has the upper hand just because of those two goals. Really being just faster on offense. This ball trickled around. This could be number 3, but it's going to be poked out, poked back in, and finally it gets a clear, or at least for the time being. Heron jumps up to make a leaping catch. That was a big save coming for the Falcons. There were a couple of shots there that McMahon had that could have been number 3, and that would have been a deep, deep hole for the Falcons to dig themselves out of this early in the ballgame. Forrest will receive it at the 40, gives it away. Still alive. Falcons will get it just about the 50-yard line is where the ball will lie. Paige O'Connell went for it. Coming from behind, still alive. Trickles off a McMahon defender, but they'll regain possession. Played on the side, and now it's booted out. A little bit of a collision there with Paulman, and now it's a chase to the ball. McMahon might win this. Heron comes out and makes a diving save. Good job by Maddie Heron. She has let 2 goals bump by her, but she's come out and made some terrific saves. Defensively, could easily be 4-5-0 at this point had she not made some of those stops that she has. As we see the rain may hold off. Hopefully it will. As of now, a beautiful skyline coming. Maybe a little bit of break in those cloudy skies that we've seen. The lights are on here at Brien McMahon. We'll be playing under the lights very shortly, possibly before halftime. Booted up. But McMahon with a clear. That was a big one, too. About 21 minutes to go, nearing the halfway point. Brown able to poke it up. Excellent defense work. But McMahon will get it back, and a whistle called. Played down and an opportunity at this point, but it rolls just out. It was a good ball, just rolled a little too fast. Substitutions coming. The clock remains to run as we go to the 20:45 mark. Man, back-to-back goals just about 10 or so minutes ago. In this ball game, it's been very rough defensively for the Falcons. They're going to look to turn that around. Off the far side. Falcons need to keep away from the turnovers. Here's a pass in the box. Just had a little too much on it. Georgia Hoey had it. Couldn't gain possession long enough. And the McMahon defense has certainly come up big, as good as the Falcons have been offensively, as we go now to the halfway mark officially in this ball game. As good as the Ludlowe offense has been, the McMahon D has come up and stopped them every time. So it'll be interesting to see what happens now. Poked out of bounds. Haven't been many high points besides those first two goals. We know at this point we will not be playing to the 0-0 draw they played to last season. Still could play to a draw, and that is still very much a possibility. Falcons scored 2 last week against West Hill. Now they need 2 or more this week to remain undefeated against Brien McMahon. Poked up, past the 30. McMahon has a 4-on-3 break, and they've got numbers going down the sidelines. What can they do? Looking for a cross. It deflects off a Ludlowe defender, but not very much gone at all. And now Bridget Paulman will pass it out, and they will get a clear. So McMahon will get to throw the ball in from around their 5-yard line, and Heron is going to have to make another tremendous save, it looks like, in the goal. Clear night so far from Brien McMahon. The rain is yet to come, knock on wood, thus far. Quick stoppage in play. We'll find out what it was in just a bit. Throws it in, so it's actually going to be Falcon ball. They'll turn it right back over. Number of the Falcons eagerly awaiting this one out on the bench. A couple of them JV players that finished up their game just before this one. Poked ahead. Opportunity for the Falcons. They couldn't get to it, but Brown's going to put it ahead, and that's going to be a goal kick as she'll scoop it up in goal. Good job by Kosia. She hasn't seen much action tonight, but like Heron, what she's gotten has really not been much. It's been weak attempts that she's carelessly battered away. Falcons still yet to register a shot on net. Bounce 17.5 through. Scoots around to the 35. Now put across the 40. Looking to go now down the sidelines, and it is gonna. Turnover now. This ball is poked out. Forrest can't get to it. Played across. This ball a little too strong, and it's going out. Almost to the 17-minute mark as we regain our broadcast here on the NFHS Network. McMahon 2, Ludlowe 0. Thanks for joining us. Again, Aiden Blank with you. A pleasure to have you along with us. We'll have a little bit of a lull. We'll take tomorrow and Thursday off. Friday night football will be from Trumbull. Falcons and the Eagles, the Mars Petrosio era, continuing in week number 2. They got destroyed by Greenwich last week. Looking to reverse that against the Falcons in week number 2. It'll be a 1-0 against an 0-1. Putting it down the sidelines, and an opportunity if she can get it through. She can. Now it's chased down. That looks like Hoey puts it in the box, but it goes behind the net. And then, of course, we'll have the Saturday morning affair. We'll grab that morning cup of joe, maybe a bagel or two, and we'll head on down to Taft Field. It'll be these same ladies going at it against Greenwich, possibly looking to get above 500 Should they lose this game, should they win, they'll look to stay unbeaten and go to 3-0. Booted up. Brown is right in front of it, and they'll keep it in the McMahon half of the field. Thrown in. Battled for along the side. She put one up. It goes off the McMahon defender, and it's going the other way, though. Not a huge crowd here from McMahon at Jack Casa-Grande Field. Hopefully looking to gain some more as the evening goes along. Will likely be a pretty large one at Trumbull on Friday. Those Falcon fans that will look to see if Ludlowe can go 2-0, and those Eagles fans that will look to see if Mars Petrosio can get his first win as an Eagle. Here come the Senators, and it is Chloe Ortolando, and it's put in but out of bounds, so it's going to be another set piece for McMahon. Ludlowe has had one set piece on the afternoon as to McMahon's 4. And that's definitely something you want to pay attention to because McMahon certainly has had more opportunities than the Falcons, a lot more registered shots on net. Put in the box, a header, and it's 3-0. What a start for the Brien McMahon Senators. Out to a 3-0 lead, and in good time, too. Three to nothing your score. And the Falcons are going to be very eager to get to halftime and get a little bit of a break. They have not taken this McMahon defense all too well. Down to about 14 minutes on the clock, and the Senators off to a 3-goal lead. Forrest trying to get at least something on the board, which would be always a good idea, especially down 3 goals. They would like to have at least one coming into halftime. This is going to be a goal kick coming up for the Senators. So we'll see the boot from Cochia for the second time this afternoon, or this early evening, I should say, just about 7 here in Connecticut. We thank you for joining us wherever you're joining us, whether that be in Connecticut, California, maybe out of the United States. Still alive across the 35 she goes, put up along the sideline. Forrest gets it taken away, and here come the Senators. Playing on their feet, looking to get a 4th before halftime. This ball played up and a little too much. If she had put a little less on it, could have been a perfect ball for the senior Viviana Luna, the forward, the sophomore forward, getting her first varsity action of the season. About 13 minutes remaining in this half, and still alive. Here she goes, puts it in the box, but just by Herod. And not in the bad way. Scoots by Herod, but goes out of bounds, I should have said at that point. 12:40 is the mark. McMahon will get, Ludlowe will get a goal kick, and it's headed in the air. Still on the line, and here we go. Forrest with it. Boots it up ahead. Still alive. It's been a lot of air balls, but Brown still with it. Finally gives it up. And now it's booted out of bounds. Across the side. Still alive. That's exactly what it'll be. Looking to get 1 goal at least. But the Senators having other thoughts. Booted up ahead. Paulman will get it by, and that's all they needed, really, just to get it out of there. Still in the air, or on the ground, I should say. Put up by Forrest. Fought for, and here come the Senators with a 4-on-4 break. Now a 3-on-2, putting it down, and that is a save by Herod. We were certainly due for one after giving up 3 goals in this first half alone. And she is not disappointed. Outside of those 3 goals, she has really made some incredible stops tonight. As I said earlier, could easily be 2-3 more goals. Thanks to Heron, it is still only 3-0 manageable. You just don't want to allow any more. 4-0 is when it begins to become a rout. Played up along the sides. Still alive as nobody's cleared it yet. It's always alive with this Falcons team as we begin to seeing them for the first time on the Falcons Sports Network. It's always alive with this Falcon team until it's booted out. We've seen a couple intercepted McMahon passes that have, intercepted passes from the Falcons that have turned deadly or near deadly by the Senators. Heron puts it on the ground about to the 10. Quickly moving game. Not too much in the way of stoppages. Booted up along the sideline. The sun begins to set. A gorgeous setting. We'll have to get you the shot at halftime. It's a gorgeous setting here at Brien McMahon. Heron awaiting the next Senator shot inside 10 minutes in this opening quarter to go. Or half, I should say. First time we see a girls soccer match on the Falcon Sports Network. We'll have a couple more of them coming up this season. Stays with it. It's going to be Falcon ball again. Heron really kicking herself in goal, but she certainly has some time to make it up if her offense can get it going. No reason they can't come back from down 3. Inside, 9.5 to go, and she'll put one in the air for the first time tonight. Certainly going to be a stern talking to coming from Coach Peter Nikach at halftime. Put along the sidelines. Of course, the Falcons still trying just to get to halftime. Maybe a goal or 2 going the other way, maybe. Still 8 minutes to go in this one, so it's not done yet. Will be if they can't step up their act offensively. Put in the air. Out of bounds. We'll be back here in a bit. In a couple of weeks, we'll have the football game when they travel to Brien McMahon. That was a close game last year. I believe it was around 22-16. So that's going to be a very fun matchup. 2 teams under new sort of regimes and looking to take some names in the world of high school football. So it should be fun the next time we're here. It's going to be a lot colder than it already is. That's Susanna Weber, the sophomore, who gets it around the 10, still in the box, and it is not gone out of bounds yet. Put in the box. O'Connell looked to put it in, but it went off for, that's loose. No penalty called. Trickles off a McMahon defender. That's probably the most pressure they've shown all afternoon offensively. Sydney Fischbach is a freshman. She is the only freshman in this ball game. She'll get the ball right now on the near side. And for Peter Nikach to put you on the varsity team as a freshman, let alone a varsity team with 12, with a lot of sophomores, a pretty good amount of juniors, and 12 seniors, to earn yourself roster space is pretty big. Certainly got to be proud of yourself if you're Sydney Fischbach. Put in the air. Weber fighting for it. Can't get it, and McMahon will retain possession, but it's bumped off the chest, so very quickly it becomes a scrum, and around midfield, the Senators, who've dominated offensive possession in the last few minutes, will look to keep it going. The Falcons able to trap it. Fleming. Weber couldn't get to it. Just a step off. Falcons have had a tough time controlling the ball, and that's as much them as it is the McMahon D. The McMahon D has been outstanding thus far. Still in the air, and it goes out. Almost to the 6-minute mark, so this is where you start trying to look for one last halftime goal and then bring out the orange slices. Take a seat. You're going to have a good talking to. The McMahon girls going to have a nice, easy halftime, most likely. A couple of things they'd like to change. Maybe a little less Falcon possession. But Coach Singaliotis certainly not going to be upset about much. 3-0 against one of the best teams in the FCAC. Through about a half. Heron out of the net. Needed to get it away, and she does. Here's Brown. Far side. Working on it. Falcons need to do something quick. Fischbach is a freshman. She is the only freshman in this ballgame. Working on it now on the near side. Maybe something cooking before halftime, but it's still alive. Caroline Sullivan giving chase. Put up along the 50, now down across 20 more yards to the 30. They'll give it to Heron. She'll boot it. Coming just out of the box. Inside 5 to play. McMahon gets it back, sends it to the net, but out of bounds. We see the McMahon boys soccer team getting in a late night practice before their upcoming game. 4.5-minute mark. Heron getting ready to clear it. 4:20 is the time. Still in this first half, and Ludlowe has given up 3 to Brien McMahon's none. That out of bounds. 4-minute mark. Nikoch at this point in the game, down 3, wanting to try and find some new players, putting in a lot of the underclassmen, and this is where it could become a young bloods game, as Coach Singaliotis could do the same very soon. We see a couple of sophomores, we see a freshman out there, so some of the seniors that gave up the 3 in this first half being taken out, and certainly not going to hurt to try and put in a new group and see how they work. That's going out. As the McMahon student section kind of begins to file in. A pretty good crowd. Most of them are JV and or freshman players, as well as a couple of football players coming back from practice. Inside 3 to go. On the ground, now pitched up. Put up along the sideline. Poked free. Now what can they do? They need something big to happen, the Senators will. Poked in the box. They could have a 4th, but it's a sliding stop by Maddie Heron that took out the McMahon defender as we approach the 2-minute warning in this opening half, and Heron has continued to avoid letting this game get run away with. Nice steal. Here come the Falcons. Little bit of young speed. Still on it. Able to knock her off the ball. Pullman able to get it deflected out of bounds. So Falcons looking to add one on inside 2 minutes remaining in this half. Starting to try and take some shots they wouldn't normally take, just trying to get one on the board. prove they're not totally out of this. This ball may put him out of it. Heron giving chase, and it's deflected out. Down to a minute 10. Almost at a minute. 3-0 McMahon as we go to the final minute of this opening half. Certainly lots to talk about on both ends. McMahon has been relentless offensively, gotten a couple of good chances, plus 3 goals. Ludlowe, on the other hand, has struggled just to stay in this ball game. 3 goals, and it could have been a whole lot more. Their defense really going to need to step up the game, and their offense is going to have to turn it on too. They've done better on offense than you would expect. They put 2 on the board last week against Danbury, but their offense simply has not been good enough in this ball game. They're going to need 3 to tie and 4 to take the lead. That is if they can hold McMahon scoreless for the next 40 or so minutes. Last few seconds of this opening half are ticking away. Ludlowe trying to just get something going. Maybe a last-second goal. Out of bounds, and that should just about do it. As we will watch the scoreboard expire, and that's the end of opening half. 3-0 McMahon as we go to halftime. And as I said earlier, lots to talk about on both ends. Ludlow's offense needs to step it up, their defense as well. McMahon's offense needs to just keep doing what they're doing. Their defense needs to step it up and hold the Falcons scoreless for another 40 minutes. That alone is a really big accomplishment. We're going to step aside for a bit. We'll return in about 6.5 minutes. We'll talk first half and, of course, look forward to half number 2. Ludlowe down 3-0 at halftime to McMahon. Back in a bit here on the Falcon Sports Network. Welcome back for half number 2 here at Fairfield, Brien McMahon High School. Getting so used to being at Taft Field at Ludlowe. But it's always good to take the show on the road, and a great group of people here at Brien McMahon. As are at Ludlowe, but it's nice to get away from home once in a while. We'll be back home on Saturday, as I mentioned earlier. We got Friday football. Get your FSN tailgate around 6 or so. Myself and Cam Mena, and then we've got 7 o'clock football. Back underway. And an abrupt start to this half. Here goes the whistle. Well, they're really going to need something short of a miracle here, down 3-0, and this McMahon team has just been so excellent. It's going to be very tough for them to come back, but as I said earlier, it's not impossible. They could come back very much, and that's exactly what they're going to try and do. It's getting pretty dark here at McMahon. Passed up top. Falcons really looked like they were getting a stern talking to at the end of the half. They certainly down 3-0. It's a very tough time to be a Falcon right now. They didn't have much to celebrate, but you know what? They played excellent offense. They were very close. They just couldn't put one in, and that's seems to be the story a lot of times with this team. They put 2 in against Danbury, and they got a good one against Greenwich. So it's not too bad. I mean, they still could come back. McMahon just seems to be really winning this speed war. That's one of their main things here. Off on the sideline, and it'll be thrown in by McMahon. Not too much in the way of action. Falcons will go with the same group that ended that first half. So a lot of young kids. Heron's still back out there. You got to admire her courage. Staying in goal after 3-0. That's always tough, but you know what? She is an excellent goaltender, and in her senior year, you don't get too many of these, so enjoy this while you can. That seems to be the mantra of this entire team. This is our last ride, the seniors. We got a really good team that can go, hopefully, very deep into the FCAC and state playoffs, and let's just have some fun. Go out, play some soccer, and this ball's going down the sideline, and it's going to be gloved just at the very beginning of the crease by Heron. Put up along the sideline. Put up in front. Playing some touch, and here goes Susanna Weber placing that ball in. Falcons still on attack. Trickles in, and a stoppage. Going the other way, it will. 36 to go, so 4 minutes gone by. Really flew by. The McMahon crowd that was standing up in half number 1 is kind of sat down, realizing this is a pretty good game to be at. Chasing it down, not letting it go, but it will anyways, out of bounds. At about 35 to play, the Falcons trailing by 3. Down the middle, put along the sideline. Here comes McMahon. They've got a 2-on-2 situation, or 2-on-3, I should say, and a good block by Paloma Meehan. She's able to get 2 feet in front of it, and Senators will throw it in from about the 10-yard line. Actually, around the 20 more. Playing it wide. A little bit of miscommunication. Paloma's got it. That's going out. Tough time controlling it was Kirsten Morris-Rowe, another one of those great seniors that we talk so much about. Unable to control it there. Here's a pass into the box. Went by 2 Brien McMahon defenders before being picked up. That could have been very dangerous had it gone through for the Senators. And here's another set piece. This is not how you want to start it defensively. Kind of picking it up exactly where you left it off in that last half, and that's the exact opposite of what you want to be doing here. You need stops, and good stop. It was a good stop, but the ball should have never been there in the first place. Here comes a corner. Put in the box. Still alive. Ooh, they had Heron's blind spot, but a good stop by the Falcon defense. There's Paloma. Good stop, actually, by Kaylee Scala. She's the other freshman, and you can see in the hustle, she is glad to be on this team. Put it in the play. Falcons trying to get one on the board. Played forward and now scooped up by Kosia. Goalkeeper wearing number 11. He's not really had to do too much tonight. The Falcons have not put too many shots on goal. Pretty good amount, but not a ton. They've had a couple of presses. But it's been more McMahon offense than Ludlowe. Put along the side line and trickles out. On the outside. Played up to the 30. Still alive. An opportunity, and it is going to be taken away at the 50. Played across from 40 to 40. Or just beyond there. Played up forward. This ball poked across, but it's going to be very easy for Kochia to get. Trickles out of bounds. McMahon by 3 still in this second quarter. Almost a half an hour left. Coach Nikach really wanting those girls to run that extra mile. Give it everything you got. Nothing to be ashamed of. It's 3-0. Not really much to defend at this point. Not much to lose. Down by 3. You might as well try and go for it. That's what he's done, putting in those sophomores and freshmen. Kind of a mix. Still some of the veterans with Morris-Rowe and all, but here we go. This is their one of their first real chances of the night. Ripping down the sideline. Makes a nice move. Puts it in the box. Saved and cleared. That was a huge clearance from the Senators. An excellent job, and now the Senators will get their chance on a fast break here. Poked up ahead, and that's offsides. Coach Sengaliotis visibly frustrated there, really thinking his team could put it away. At this point in the game, one goal could end it all. So he really wanted that to not be offsides, and saying she was just barely 3 yards out. That's not enough. Put along the sideline and fought for, and it trickles out onto the Ludlowe bench. In the box, trickled out, and out once more. Easily played. Nothing, however, has been easy about this Falcon offense, trying to get it on the McMahon defense, which has been really an iron curtain, and that's why you see that big goose egg next to Ludlow's name. So the lights have come on once again here from McMahon. Inside a half hour to play. Ludlowe really needing something to go off of. Even if they score one here, they need to score one in the next 10 or so to really be in this game. They're not out of it, but they could be very fast, which is why their defense really needs to come up, and their offense too. They're going to need a lot better chances. 28:50 to go. Poked out by Meehan. Still alive, and that's why Ludlowe gets it back. And now it's cleared out. Paloma will get it deflected out. It's going to be a Senator ball. Morris Rowe, will defend the thrower. That ball's still in. Nicely played by the McMahon defense and Caitlin Ortiz. Now it comes back the other way. Put in front. Pokes it out. The girls really cheering each other on, a really tight-knit bunch. Not just the sophomores and then everybody else, but a very, very tight-knit bunch. All classes down on the Falcons sideline. Really a sisterhood, as Maddie Herron would call it. Put it out on the sideline and still alive. That's poked out. Clock is not really stopped much. It will now, and I'll try to fix that. .26:40 is the updated time. Is kind of doing two jobs here, producing and calling this one. There we go. Now that is a correct time. Down to 26:25 to play. Almost to the 26-minute mark. Falcons playing one under the lights for the first time. They'll play again in the under the afternoon sun on or under the morning sun on Saturday. Almost went through. Had it gone through, it would have been nasty. Here come the seniors now, starting to get put back in the game. That's one of them, McKenna Forrest. Puts it on the sideline. An opportunity for the Falcons. A really good look. Still alive with it. Goes out. Falcons really wanted a foul call there, and that's where the odds just really are not in your favor. I mean, at this point, that's where Peter Nekoch realizing this really just isn't his girls' night. They have not been able to put anything in the back of the net thus far. Almost 20 minutes to go. Almost 25, actually, as we hit the 25-minute mark to go in this final half. In a game that ended in a 0-0 tie last year. Certainly more high scoring this year and a little more one-sided as well. 3-0 McMahon on top. Poked out. Still alive, and here we go. Off to the races go the Falcons. Down the sideline, she's got an opportunity to put it home. Into the corner it goes. Crossed in the box. Shot and a save. First big one of the night coming from Kayla Kosia, or Kosia, rather. 3-0 McMahon is the score still. Could have been 3-1 there. That was probably their biggest attempt of the night. The Falcons just couldn't get it go. Poked in the air. Still alive, but going out. Ludlowe with a little bit of space to work now. That's where they seem to do best. Into the box, but a little too much on it. Give Kosia credit. She's not received a ton of action tonight, only because Ludlowe has not really come very close to scoring on her, but those times that she has, she's gotten it done. See what they can do now. Off the throw, down to about 22 and a half. She's got room to go. Fought for, and now here comes the whistle. Here we go. Put in the box. Opportunity, but another good save. That's the third one in about 10 minutes. That Kosia has just received with no sweat. The Falcons have played very well in those last few minutes offensively to get it to her, but she's picked it up as if it's what she does on a daily basis, and in a lot of ways it is. Meehan. Good move. Good footwork from all these ladies. Here's Forrest. Puts another shot on net and another good save. Poked out just for a second. Kosia got it. It kind of rolled off her, but she was able to fall on it, so nothing too risky for the Senators. 3-0 the Falcons trail it. That's in the air. Poked around. Here we go. Still alive. They have an opportunity to score now. Pitched up ahead, still loose in the box. And you know it's really a big chance when it gets loose in the box like that, and the Senators are able to pick it up. Their defense has just come alive tonight. Here she comes, ripping down midfield. Couple of moves, still on her feet, and into the box it goes, but now poked out. And that's the game. I mean, the Falcons came in to this game really poking it through. Remember, those first 10 minutes were all McMahon, then it was the Falcons for about 10, and then the Senators put those 2 on net, and that kind of started the scoring rampant for the Senators, up 3-0 here in this ball game. In front, nice steal by Meehan. She's done an excellent job defensively for Ludlowe. Poked out. Meehan wanted a penalty, and they're giving it to McMahon. Tried to intercept it again. Still loose. Now poked up in the air. Good header from Forrest. Chip into the box, but a good stop by Paulman. The senior captain making sure it doesn't go to 4. And at this point, that's really all the Falcons are focused on. Just trying to get one on the board. Time ticking away, inside 20 minutes to go. So we're in that last half of the second half. Poked forward. This is going to be Heron, who calls off the racing Paulman at the 10 and grabs it. Puts it in the air. Still alive. Here's Paulman to get it. No, that's Forrest. Forrest, here she goes. And now finally taking off the ball. Put forward. This could be a tough play. She beat her to the ball. This is in the corner. Still alive, but Heron's got it. Very tough play to make if you're McMahon. Racing down that corner. She got an extra step on her racing down the side, but just couldn't finish. Inside 18.5 to play. Crowd of Senators fans still eagerly watching on, waiting to have some happy times after the game. In about 18 minutes. Approaching that mark very rapidly. Ludlowe needing something to go on in these final 18. Put in front. Nothing to come of it. They needed her. Now there's a slide tackle. No cards, and Brown able to get the stop she needed. Maybe not the prettiest way to do it, but did the job that she needed to do. Ludlowe's next game will be Thursday. They'll host Stanford. The boys will host McMahon tomorrow night at home. In the box, diving stop by Heron. And the girls are going to have a really tough time of it trying to beat Stanford. Stanford's a very strong program and always has been in the FCAC. Put along the side, and they can't get it to go. Every little opportunity the Falcons have had has been shut down in a big way by the Senators. You can't blame the Falcons for being a bit frustrated. Here we go. Opportunity crossed in the box. But again, like I said, every little opportunity chested away. Racing down the sidelines and out of play. Inside 16.5 to go. This one nearing completion. On a Tuesday night in the FCAC, in which almost every girls' soccer team is playing. Falcons have really had a tough time of it, both offensively and defensively. Senators able to keep it in, but there you go. There's some hustle from Valentina Villa. The sophomore showing why she's on the varsity squad. Even once she lost it, she came right back, and it's a fast group of girls at Brien McMahon High School, and Coach Singliotis has to be excited about what this team can do. It's been a while since he's coached an FCAC playoff-worthy team, and could have one this year. This is a team that could surprise a lot of players if they don't do so hot in the regular season, which they very well should. This team is faster than almost every team in the FCAC, so this team could get a home game in the quarterfinals, could possibly be. Should they end up with a 6, 7, or 8 seed, they could surprise the team. They could be one of those teams that you wouldn't expect to be in, and in a sport like girls soccer where it's pretty much, the top 2 teams are really humongous favorites. There's a shot. Oh, what a save. Look at Heron. Down 3-0, and she's still making saves like it's 0-0. A diving save with 14:28 to go. And as I was saying, you look at girls soccer where it's basically last year, Staples and St. Joe's were basically the 2 top teams in the FCAC, and they were right in the final. So in a sport where upsets are not really, in a league where upsets are not really common in the FCAC playoffs, it's very refreshing to see a team that could pull off one. Possibly an 8-1. We see it a lot on the boys' side. In fact, we saw the 1 seed, the Ridgefield Tigers, go down in the quarterfinals last year, racing along the side. Opportunity, but another big stop, and the McMahon crowd letting him hear it here at Brien McMahon. Three 0 the Senators lead, and that's intercepted by Brown. Maya Brown, that is. Inside 13.5, and the Falcons just trying to get one on the board. In the air, cross midfield. That's Hoey, who kicked the ball off in the beginning of the game, about an hour or 2 ago. Out of bounds it goes. 12:50 and counting, and at this point the Senators just looking for maybe one more ancillary goal, and then they're going to go home, sleep well, and get ready for a big week ahead of them. Controlled, and again, not much to talk about at this point. Senators have really set the script from way back in the beginning. They'll play Trumbull on the 15th. I believe that is Saturday, so they'll play in Trumbull at 10 a.m. Both these teams will be playing at 10 a.m. on Saturday. Brien McMahon will be at Trumbull, which is where we'll be Friday night for football. Ludlowe will be at home against Greenwich, and then they'll go to Danbury Tuesday of next week. The Senators will. That'll be here. 2 home games next week, Danbury and Darien. Tuesday, Thursday. Then they'll go to Stamford. That ball just scooting by, and got a little 11.5 minutes to go. The Senators have basically, again, set the script, and this ball game is nearing completion, we'll call it. After those 3 in the first half, Heron's been absolutely stellar behind the net. And definitely some pluses to take away from this game. You know who your star players from the sophomore and junior class you'll get, and will show up on a consistent basis. And you know who your seniors that really mean business are. Clearly, Heron giving up 3 and sticking right with it, making some excellent saves is one of them. That's why she is a captain. Scoots by, nearing the corner. Still in the corner. Nice job by Brown. Very feisty on defense. Her sister Kaylee, also a Falcon alum. Kelsey, a soon-to-be Falcon alum in a couple of months. Her sister graduating last year, also a girls soccer star. Their father, Mike, was a big soccer guy down at Staples High School back in the day. Controlled around the 35, now the 40. She runs up the near side, or the far side, I should say, and it's put out of bounds. Ludlowe needing something. Thrown in. Still alive, and the Falcons will get, oh no, they won't. McMahon will get possession, fought for around midfield. Down to about 9.5 to go. Clock just running down, and now it's caught along the near side. Falcons getting a chance to get a pretty good possession, and a pretty big one coming near the end of the game if they want to try and tally one on. Remember, McMahon hit 2 basically in a row way back in the first half, midway through, and that was led to a goal just about 10 minutes later. Put them up 3-0. Here's a steal. She's got room to go. Still in front of the net. The Falcons don't want to give this one up. Put along midfield. Falcons going to try and take some time on this. You really do feel like all these possessions, because they've been down most of the game, have been really rushed trying to get these goals, but this is a time where you want to kind of find your cranks. We don't need to rush it. 8.5 minutes to go. And all we need to do is put the ball in the net. That's what you need to focus on. Still alive, that going out for a Falcon throw. It is Meehan along the near side. Finds a target, lets it go. Headed out. Controlled. Still, and put back out. That was Maya Newton, the captain on it. That looks like O'Connell. No, it is not. It's going to be, yes, it was O'Connell. 7:40 to go, and the clock's starting to tick down. The Falcons just awaiting its all zeros. Interesting fact about this McMahon team, as I was going over the roster coming to this game today, they actually have 3 players with 0 on their numbers. Very interesting enough. 3 goalkeepers. Kayla Kochia is regular 0. Charlotte Husey, the senior goalkeeper, is number 00. And they actually have a 000. That is Kaylee Martin, the goalkeeper. In all my years of covering, that's in front of the net and nearly went out. Big stop by the regular 0, Kayla Kochia. And as I was saying, in all my years of watching sports and covering sports, I've never seen a 000. But they're all goalies. They're all 0. So why not? That's a slide tackle, and that's a big free kick coming up. Falcons kind of needed one. You felt like they kind of needed one in that territory. They've had them, but they've not been near the net. And they needed one near the net, and here we go. They have one with about 6 to play. It's going to be taken by Sydney Fischbach, the freshman. How about this? Needing a goal in one of your first varsity games. Trying to put it in. Warming up her boot. Waiting for the whistle, and now it comes. Everybody coming toward the net. She'll put one on net. Rebound in front. Still alive, and they couldn't get it through. Here's a second shot, and it's just wide. And you know it is not your night when you see something like that. The first one almost, Fischbach put it on net. It almost went in the first time. Cochia had trouble with it in front of the net. Then a second chance was saved. It trickled out to about the 15, where a third one was put on net, and it just sailed over. So you know at this point it is not your night. And the Falcons so close to going out with a score at least. That is the plan, as this one's put in front. Newton controls it in front of the net, and it goes out. Very close to getting it in. Here's a throw, battled for, and it's kicked out. Chipped in front, not wanting to give it up. Still alive. They're not giving up on this possession. Cochia giving chase. They got room in front of the net, and there it is. Took them a while, but finally the Falcons put it on the board. 4:18 to go. And a pretty good reaction from the crowd. And now they need another. 3-1 your score. .418 on the clock. Second half, and the Falcons will go in their first two games without getting shut out. Down to about 4 minutes on the clock. That was certainly a long time coming, no doubt. Ludlowe needed something, and they just got it. 3-1 your score, McMahon on top. Again, much thanks to the McMahon athletic staff for hosting us this evening, giving us a spot in the broadcast booth and helping us bring you this ball game. That put in front off the side of the net where Heron stands, and Ludlowe trying to get one more on. That's the plan. They could go out with a tie. It's not impossible. 4 minutes is a pretty good amount of time for them to try and score. But with the McMahon defense playing the way it has, you get the feeling that it may be a little harder than it would look. Trying to be, they definitely have played these last few minutes more aggressive than the last 40 per se, and that's pretty good in the fact that they're not letting anything stop them, and they're not stopping until the whistle blows. But they do still need 2 more for a tie. Boy, if they could get 3, knock on wood, and take the lead, how cool would that be? 2:50 to go. Whistle with 2:46. They're going to confer here with 2:46 remaining. Going to try and find out what's going on here. Nothing there, so all that conferring and no cards shown. Actually, it looks like they're going to give her a free kick. So it was a placement of the ball at least. Waiting for a whistle to tell us. Start that clock. It's out. .235 to go now at the 2.5-minute mark. Falcons just trying to finish this one out on a high note. They certainly got that goal, which is good. They'll take that into their matchup against Stanford at home on Thursday. and trying to waste some time, and Peter Nikoch seeing exactly what they're doing with these free kicks. Wanting his team to get maybe one more goal. In the net, that one was near dangerous, but a good save by Heron. That's going out of bounds. Senators going to get the ball. Thrown in by Michaela or Tolando. Inside a minute and a half to go, the final 90 or so seconds to play. Ludlowe really struggled tonight to put the ball in the back of the net, and it's not like they couldn't have come back from those three, but their offense just shut down, and that is usually the death of this team. Offense usually not the concern of this group, but seems to have been today. As we'll throw it in, and it goes out, down to about 50 on the clock. And we are almost done. Ludlowe trying to get one more consolation goal just before we go. Here's Brown trying to do her thing. Puts it in the box. Good save, though, by Cochia. The junior goalie has really had to step it up in this last half, and she certainly has. Down the sideline, down the turf. 20 seconds to go. McMahon and the crowd counting it down. McMahon getting 3 out of 4 goals scored tonight. Certainly a good job on their part. Here comes the whistle, down to 4, 3, 2, and that's going to do it. So your final tonight from Brien McMahon, the Senators 3, the Falcons 1. And it was a very tough night for Peter Nikoch's squad. Not so much for Coach Singliotis' squad. And 3-1, Brien McMahon wins it. We will say so long from Brien McMahon High School. Once again, your final 3-1. We'll talk to you on Friday night at 6 o'clock with FSN Tailgate. Football comes your way between Ludlowe and Trouble at 7. And then we're back the next day for Ludlowe girls soccer at 10 a.m. For Chris Blank and Dan Sierra and our entire FSN and Fair TV crew, I'm Aiden Blank. Once again, your final tonight, McMahon 3, Ludlowe 1. And again, for Chris Blank and our entire FSN crew, I'm Aiden Blank saying so long from Brien McMahon.